you can try to incorporate that in this new melody I just came up with. It would be cool to have an electric noise like that. This is in like 15 time. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's 12 plus 3. That's kind of interesting. That's all I have right now. Do the same thing you did before and look for stuff to add to this. I'm pretty sure you count to 15, so that would be a different way to write this song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Try to work it out so it fits that. That's pretty cool. But try to use the loud noise in the background when you make this recording to see how it blends together. I think that would be pretty cool to use like weird noises like that to build the song, like an industrial song or something. I don't know what to compare this one to yet. That just came to my head. I was trying to come up with the 15 time, and then the lawnmower went, and it made me more interested in it. Yeah, it should be 15. I don't know if that's 15 4. I don't know how you really divide it when you write this time signature. Maybe search Google for songs that are in 15 time or something and see what songs come up. But that's all I have right now. I'll do the same thing again later and look for files that could work from old stuff. I don't know any words yet. I don't know any song title yet. But I don't know. Some kind of industrial noise is kind of cool. But yeah, try to work on that. That's all I have right now. I'm kind of doing it differently tonight. It's September 5th, 2025. Earlier today, I woke up around, I don't know, noon or 1 o'clock, and there was like the lawnmower or some kind of hedge trimmer going off. And you heard it in the first recording. And then it made me think of a weird melody in my head. It's almost like a classical thing. Maybe like it's very Mars Volta again. This album's, or whatever these songs are coming so far, maybe Mars Volta is like in my head for some reason. But I did write lyrics for this part, and then I'm gonna go search for more audio clips and see what I can come up with. So the melody is basically the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to get it to a 15, so you count to 15. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. I always think I'm making something different time signature, and then I'll go back later and I'm like, that's just normal time, but because I don't really grasp the concept that much. But after I write this song tonight, I'm gonna look up for I'll search for songs in 15 time if that's a thing, which I'm sure you can make songs in any time. So I want to say there's a Radiohead song called 15 Step, but I could be wrong about that. But anyway, this is how the vocal melodies will go for part one. Count even when it's shallow. Count out before the score. Source the uninvited. Settled in the mud. Count the deviations. Count the reinforced. Moods debate their shadows. Friday by the bus. Count the rest with hunger. You could probably change the chord there. I would say the first two verses are kind of low and maintain a certain monotony, almost like a drone part. And then by verse 3, if you just go back to back to back, I would kind of change the chords at that point. Count the rest with hunger. Count the grains to pass. Verdict for the disregard. Running out the clock. Or running down the clock. Either one. I don't know what it's really reminding me of anything. I never got into Tool. I never got into Dream Theater or like really technical bands like that. I tried to in high school, I just never did. Tool, Slayer, a lot of heavy metal, Pantera stuff. I just could never like groove to it, so I never really got into it too much. But I know Tool has a lot of weird time signature stuff. Maybe Mars Volta as well. I got more into them over the last few years. I really like some of their later albums too. So I'm not sure what the time signature really is, but I think it's 15. Like, dun 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 dun. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. Again, it's not a big deal for me as long as it sounds cool. I could improvise stuff later. But that's basically how part one would go. And now I'm going to take a break and try to find audio files that fit the rest of this song. I'll try to do part two right now and then write the lyrics. It's a little bit different than my process the last two nights. First I would find all the music parts. Then I would go and write the lyrics to everything. And again, I'm doing this very quickly. I wrote this part one, the lyrics, like in 2 minutes. Whatever came in my head, I just wrote down. So there's no meaning to any of this stuff. I think I'm going to call this song Pondering Fargo. That popped in my head for some reason. I was thinking of the movie Fargo. Because it sounds like a wood chipper noise, whatever they were doing outside. And yeah, I wrote a note that I would give the landscapers that were doing shit today, I would give them songwriting credits on this if it became a big charting single or something. Because they led to this song idea. So that's kind of interesting. And yeah, I said it in the first part. I would try to put that weed whacker, whatever the hell it was. I try to put that, manipulate the sound into a loop of some kind and use it in the background as industrial noise or something. Just to make it different, I guess. And kind of fit it to the key I'm in, whatever it comes out to be. So yeah, there's a lot of experimental possibilities with this song, but I'm gonna take a break now and start looking through all my old audio files. I'm going to sing this one right away because I'm going to forget how it goes. Pondering Fargo against the screen to rid the highway, signal seeds. Pondering Fargo, delivered free with the snake's grace towards recovery. Pondering Fargo, Pondering Fargo, Pondering Fargo, Pondering Fargo. You can keep going with that if it sounds cool to repeat it over and over again, like just like the song you did yesterday. This is for the mellow part. I think it's fingerpicked for part 2 of Pondering Fargo. It was another file that I found from September 2023, 2 years ago. And it kind of fit. The first part of this song is very ambitiously, almost classical. There's a weird classical element to it. So this one just brings it back down to a very mellow middle part, which I call the chorus, I guess. I don't really know what to call it. It could be a verse because all these songs I'm making are like 3 songs in one. So each one is like its own song almost. I'm just going to have to really make the transitions blend in seamlessly when I put these together finally. So part 2 is very peaceful, and the lyrics again I just came up with pretty quickly. Pondering Fargo against the screen to rid the highway. I feel like I would put a lot of echo on this. I'm not against using AI effects or anything. I'm not a big fan of the auto-tune stuff, but you know, the normal echo reverb stuff, if it sounds cool, I'm all for that. I don't care about that stuff. Yeah, I like the natural sounding stuff, but my vocals kind of suck. So, you know, you have to put a little bit of magic to it, I guess. But it depends what type of music I'm doing. This is a very meditative song, at least this part is. So, I'm going to take another break and go through some more files. And I'll make part 3 next. This one's gone pretty quickly. Hopefully I find part 3 just as easily. And maybe I'll even try to do another song later if this one goes that quickly. But yeah, right now I'm going to go look through probably January of last year when I had a good month of just writing guitar stuff. I don't know if it's good or not. It's probably going to be a lot of repetitive drivel that I'll just delete at some point, but sometimes you find a gem. Even if I did like 30 recordings, I'll find at least a couple that could turn into something. And that's what I'm going to go. The next part of this process is going to be that. And I'll continue after I'm done writing the lyrics and everything, finding the audio file. Alright, it's still September 5th, 2025, around 10:15. I started this process around 9 o'clock or so. This went pretty quickly. I had the original idea earlier this afternoon. It led me to the first riff of this song and the idea of Pondering Fargo, whatever that means, whatever it's going to mean in the future. It is one of my favorite movies, but I haven't watched it in a long time. But I used to watch it a lot. It's a great classic movie. I would say, yeah, Coen Brothers have probably the best collection altogether, the most consistently good movie makers. I thought the Ballad of Buster Scruggs or whatever, that whole like five mini movies was amazing. But yeah, Fargo. I guess I'm just picturing the scene with the wood chipper. That's what made me think of it. The noise I heard this afternoon that I played in the beginning, whether it was a weed whacker or mower, it just made me think of Fargo for some reason, and that's kind of why I came up with these lyrics. But I don't know what they mean. It's just whatever popped in my head really quickly. This is also how I wrote my lyrics in 2022, 2023, when I did all my songs over that winter time. And I just had to edit the lyrics like over and over and over and over. That was probably one of the toughest things I've done. The editing process was just crazy for that. But anyway, here's how the vocal melody goes for part three. When the west moves east, when the moon turns green, when the science funnels, when the phantoms wean, when pondering Fargo, when pondering Fargo, when pondering Fargo, leave the scene. And you could get heavier with that. Like, again, I'm picturing a lot of Mars Volta stuff, Swans, the Michael Giro spoken word voice. Because that's probably where my style will fall towards if I keep writing songs and I try to sing them. It's going to be somewhere in between that. Like the dude from Mars Volta, I don't know his name. He can scream and do crazy vocals. Michael Gira, Swans, they also have. He's got a unique style. How he lets out his passionate vocalizations. So that's probably what I hear in a lot of these songs I'm making. I'm hearing a lot of Swans and Mars Volta stuff. And yeah, you could scream that. Leave the scene. You could scream it. Get kind of real passionate with this at the end. When pondering Fargo. And get heavier with the music. The riff I used for this part was from January 2024. I don't think I went like maybe over a year without playing my acoustic guitar, which I forget about. And I was doing my screenplays for almost 2 years and other stuff. Then I started in January 2024. I don't know if it was my New Year's resolution or something, but I started playing guitar like every night for a couple, maybe half an hour a night, just to get my fingers practicing. I went through like 10 to 12 audio files and they were all really bad. Very just simple, little stupid riffs that I was trying to play. This one caught my attention more though. It sounded kind of interesting. I think it fits this song as the last part. I think it would move the song along pretty cool and just end on a heavier note. You could manipulate this again, make part two, part three, and put this one as part two, but I think I like it how it is because this is my original vision and you might as well just go with your first instincts, I guess. So that's basically it. Now, again, if I was in my home studio
it's 10 o'clock at night right now, I would be alone and I could be as loud as fuck. I could scream, play heavy electric instruments. Maybe the only things I'd be disturbing are like, I don't know, some wildlife around me. But, I'd be inside a metal container. It wouldn't be that loud, but I don't know if you can record stuff with headphones. That's stupid. I want to be able to blast some stuff with guitar pedals and just get crazy with it. And I hear the drums. What I've been doing lately, whenever I listen to music, I try to pay attention to the drums only because I don't have a drummer's brain. I don't know how drums work, rhythm like that. If I want to use African drums to keep a beat, at least to give the song some percussion, I think it works in these songs like this. It would really work, like a cool African drum part. Yesterday I shared 50 instrumental songs that featured no words at all because I was trying to come up with the September song of the month, and I kept hating the ideas I came up with. The first one was about money and being free from money, or songs about rent and getting evicted. I tried to come up with 50 songs about that topic. There's a cool Spoon song called "The Rent I Pay," and I wanted to design 50 songs around that, but it didn't work out. It was corny. And then I tried to make 50 songs, or an idea at least, about the sun and living in a desert. That didn't really work out either. I thought I was just writing really generic stuff. So eventually I just came up with the third idea that words are just. Sometimes you just have to get rid of words because they're not coming out naturally. And I just made a Spotify playlist of 50 songs that kind of directed my attention towards something I want to do later in life with no words at all. Because I don't even know what I'm writing about. Like, there's a general theme about moving to the West Coast in a lot of these songs and trying to find a new reality, a new version of myself, trying to get a new perspective, all that good stuff. That could do a change of scenery, could do that for anybody. So that's where I am in my head mentally. I have no idea why I'm still in this apartment. I haven't paid rent in 3 months. I have no idea why I'm still in this place. And yeah, I'm just about out of money for anything, so it's all going to come to a halt very shortly unless I can make some money off everything I've done. And that's where my head is. Like, I'm still putting out these songs and I don't even know why I'm doing it. I don't even know if I want to be doing this. After I get done, I usually get frustrated with working and then having to be stuck living in this place. It's a financial purgatory that I can't do anything about, really. I can't do anything. So there's a frustration with these lyrics. And if I had the ability in a home studio, yeah, I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs, trying to make interesting melodies believable. Like, I want to make it passionate, not just fake it, but really feel whatever I'm trying to convey through this song if I ever find out what it is. But it just sounds cool, Pondering Fargo. It sounds like I'm getting deep about something, even though I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So that's pretty much everything, I guess. It took me maybe 3 hours to develop this song's blueprint from origin this afternoon, thinking about it throughout the day, and then finally putting these audio files together. Again, I would give this advice to any young musician, songwriter: just save everything, man. I get it. If you're in a band, you're not really working like I work. You're just coming up with songs with your bandmates and trying to record stuff right away, demos or whatever. But if you're a songwriter and you have that bug inside of you where you have to write these songs, or some force within you is going to be like pissed at you all night, and you don't know if it's good. Just save it, and you never know what it could be used for later. Maybe there's one little riff that leads to something. That's my advice for anyone trying to do similar to what I'm doing. Like, there's a lot of solo artists that might work similar fashions, or even composers, classical composers, riding on the subway, driving in their car. They come up with a melody and they just hum it to themselves, record it, save it for later. They come up with like a counter melody or some bass riff or violin section. You see those commercials all the time with Apple phones or other stuff. Like, oh, you could record your symphony from your phone whenever you want to, and it's true. Like, you really can. This is just a blueprint, but you know what I mean. Anytime any kind of melody sparks within you, we're lucky to have technology like this where you can just document it right away. And these are only from a year ago, January 2024. This last part, at least. The other section was from like 2 years ago, September 2023. I don't have a lot of new stuff. I have a feeling if I try to do this again tomorrow, I might get into some trouble because the January files don't really interest me that much. So I'm going to have to dig through a bunch of stuff. That was really the majority of the time I spent was trying to find something in all the January files I had. There's a lot of them, but they were all really crappy. And that's my process, yeah. And then I said maybe 80 to 90% of my songs end up being written like this, composed like this. And it wasn't intentional. Like, you have to remember, I never thought I would write a book until a couple years ago. My book of 400 songs, that was never my plan to do until 2022. So, writing in this fashion was never really intentional. It just turned out to be that way. And I spent tons of hours over the years recording bits and pieces of jam sessions that maybe didn't turn into songs, but they became. There's a 4 minute bit that I cut and pasted to something else, and that's the process I've been developing and using. Because if I sit down and just tell my brain, we're going to write a song, it's probably not going to happen like that. Where I'll be like, all right, this is a good verse, and then I'll go to this chorus, because this is a good chord combination. This is a good transition chord. And then I'll go back to the verse and do a bridge. Like, I just never write like that. Not never, but very, very rarely. And usually when songs come out that quickly, like with Maybe Aliens, it kind of happened like that, where I wasn't really going back to old files for any of the songs on Maybe Aliens. That was a different experience too. Maybe Aliens, the 10 songs on that album just came out pretty quickly all together. When I woke up, I would just get a song in my head, usually. So that's a very weird process for me. How I'm doing these songs over the last, whatever, few nights, this is more my usual pattern of creative process. It's the pattern I've been using, and hopefully that gives me some kind of original type of sound in the long run when I actually record these songs. I'm hoping it gives me some kind of unique. I would rather be known as a composer, yeah, more of a composer. Like, that's got a more, I don't know, musical element to it than songwriter. Songwriter just seems like you're following a specific formula and trying to create something that's been created 100 times before, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. What can I compare that to? Like every cop show on TV. I'm gonna make a cop show. Somehow it'll be different than the thousand Law and Order episodes or NYPD Blue or whatever cop show, Kojak, Columbo. Like all these shows are the same. They just maybe Monk. All those shows are the same, but they're still fun to watch. So any detective show, you could be like, oh, that's just like Columbo. Like Poker Face was reminding me so much of Columbo when I was watching that, and stuff like that. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Everything builds on something else, really. But when I hear the term composer, it makes you feel like you're really creating something, and to legitimize that term, yeah, you have to really know how to combine music together, different types of instruments on top of each other, crescendos and all that technical stuff, which, yeah, in terms of a classical composer, yeah. So, yeah, I'm definitely not trying to do that. That's a lifetime of work that, yeah, that's very few people get to that level of music creation. And I'm just trying to form songs with a different kind of blueprint, I guess. And I think I've been successful at it. Like I've done this for over 20 years. A lot of shitty stuff, but you need to put that shit out into the world too. I used MySpace before to put out some bad songs back when I was like 18, 19, 20. I've used sites, I forget what it was even called in college, sharing like really bad songs with people. But you just keep doing it, and you gotta suck in the beginning. It's like I always think I wish I would have done this 20 years ago, but I couldn't have. Like I didn't have these songs yet. I didn't have these songs made or written, the blueprints or anything. I didn't have these lyrics, this book written. I didn't have any of that stuff. I couldn't have done it 20 years ago. It would have been nice to move across the country in my 20s. I'd have more energy and a bit more, I don't know, idealism or innocence where I wouldn't be so paranoid about, well, what if I get, uh, my car breaks down in the middle of the desert and I can't get a signal and I have to go like Better Call Saul and walk through the desert 40 miles to get to civilization. What if some zombie deers come and kill me at night? What if a serial killer comes to my whatever I end up living? Like I have all these stupid thoughts now in my 40s, like, and it's not going to prevent me from doing anything. But you just when you're in your 20s, you think you're more invincible. Like, you can do anything. No, nobody knows you. You can do whatever you want. Nobody's gonna fuck with you. And the weird thing is, I'm in the same place. Like mentally, I'm different, but I'm still broke as shit, just like I was in my 20s. I said a couple times, like another theme on this album is kind of the lack of control over my life, specifically my financial life. I've never been in control of my finances, even when I worked for 11 years at my old company, um, in outdoor advertising or working for the Phillies and Eagles selling beer, stuff like that, and other jobs I've had. Like, you're always working for someone else. You're reporting to somebody else. And yeah, you're getting your paycheck and stuff every week, every 2 weeks, but are you really in control of the output, your productivity, what you want to accomplish, your goals? Nah, not really. Maybe partially, but I want to be in control of this process, so I feel like nobody else is. Um, I'm like owing something to somebody else. That's just a bad feeling to be dependent on other people. Um, I don't know if I ever said this in any of my rants, but like I could do some of the vows that monks do, like the chastity vow. Vow of silence would be tough, but the vow of poverty I don't get because like you're dependent on other people for everything. I just don't understand how anyone could live like that. Priests, nuns, monks, where you have a vow of poverty, you can't make money on your own, so you have to be dependent on whatever church organization that you pledge to. Like, I don't know how people live like that, where you're dependent on other people for everything, food, water, shelter. It's just, I don't know how people live like that. I have no money right now. That's my position in life. It is that. Like, I'm dependent on making money from the art I've done over the last 4 years through Kickstarter, through Amazon, through Substack, even Shopify, Etsy, any of these platforms that I'm trying to sell stuff on. Google Books, even though Google's kind of weird, I can't even like withdraw my money right now. I made like $6, I think, and I think those are from books that I bought myself just to see what they look like. But yeah, I'm rambling again. Not having control over your financial life is not a good way to get through life, and that's where I'm at right now. It's a weird numb feeling to be in this purgatory where I'm just waiting for something to break, something to open for me so I can get my foot in any door. And I feel like I put in the work more than enough over the last 4 or 5 years. It's been a non-stop journey pretty much. It's been like going to school, writing 15 screenplays over 2 years, and then writing 400 songs in my book, in my art books, designing all the cover art, and these poems that came out when I was doing those art books. Like, yeah, it's been a lot of hours of really dedicating myself to this, trying to create something that could get me on a new career path. I feel like I've done that more than enough. I just can't make money off of anything. I said many times, like, I don't know the process of networking myself. If I have to get an agent, join a union, join a guild, all these things are just foreign to me. But I'm not against any of it. Like, I just don't know how to go about it. It's a very weird dilemma, the business side of this. Uh, and it's like a friend once asked me, like, would you be happy to live as a, I don't know what he said, musician, if you're never gonna make that much money, but you'll have enough to survive? Like, I guess the answer is yes, but I'm thinking about this big project, and it's gonna take the money I'm asking for on my Kickstarter, 900,000. You look at it after taxes, after fees, I'm maybe left with 400,000 or 500,000. I need to buy a property, buy a tiny home, storage container. I need to buy a car. I need to set up a home studio, make sure I have solar panels so I can get electricity reliably set up. Um, Make sure I have internet service wherever I go in the desert somewhere. I'm looking somewhere off the grid, but maybe not completely off the grid. I don't know yet. Because, I don't know, I don't want to have a car once I'm settled. Um, I just want to be able to bike everywhere, walk places, so I don't have to have a car. And yeah, there's so many things I have to plan for that I can't plan for because I don't have the money to do so. And the number I came up with on Kickstarter, originally I was like, to do everything I would need 1.3 million, and that was the number I came up with originally when I was trying to sell all my screenplays together, all 15 of them, I figured each one's worth about 100 grand. And as I started doing the Kickstarter project, I came up with the number 900,000. Pretty much just based on what I believe I've worked for over the last 4 or 5 years. If I'm left with 400, 500 grand, it would be like if I was making 100 grand a year. And I feel like I'm more than, earn that money if I was making a salary 100 grand a year. So the Kickstarter thing, yeah, it's not connecting because I don't think it's really marketing. I don't know how to market it and get it in front of people's eyes. It's a problem because I don't have a big social media footprint to get my followers to go check this out and support it like a grassroots campaign. I was looking through Kickstarter today at some of the other music projects, and even like MXPX, who I loved as a teenager, they did one a couple years ago to crowd fund one of their albums. It's a great way to do it if you have a fan base already. But like if Fugazi had this back in their day in the 80s and 90s, they wouldn't have to. They would have had an easier DIY type of life as a band and stuff. Uh, they already had a following. MXPX already had a big following. If you're a known commodity with a fan base and you actually go on tours, people know you and like you. When you're in my position and you're really just a songwriter and a writer, screenwriter, whatever, any kind of writer, it's difficult to market yourself. And yeah, it's competitive, but it's like when it comes to Kickstarter, it's just about getting your project to be in front of people's eyes, and it'll grow from there like a grassroots political campaign, right? I said I would need like 36,000 people to donate $25, or I have a $50 option as well, and that will get me to the 900,000. And yeah, I just don't know how else to promote it really. I had so many people when I first started the project, third parties try to tell me, "Oh, we know how to launch your campaign and do this," but maybe they do, but I don't have the money to do all that. So it's just like I don't know if they're trying to scam me or not, but I won't have the money to find out, I guess. If I would have been in this position 4 years ago when I lived off my retirement 401k money, maybe I would have taken a risk and promoted it, but I got no money right now. So it's a different reality. I can't market myself. I can't advertise and promote myself through online resources that cost hundreds, thousands of dollars. It's uh, it's an issue because I don't know how to do it as a grassroots type of deal, which is the best way to do this, I think. And yeah, so that's the struggle right now. Maybe some of that's coming out in these songs, some of these feelings, because this is just going on in my head over and over again sometimes. Just a revolving door of thinking of all these anxious thoughts like this. And yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that go through this when you just don't have money to do what you want to do in life. And I'm not going to collect unemployment or go on welfare. I'm not unemployed. I've worked harder these last 5 years. I've worked harder than I've ever done in my life. So I'm not unemployed. I just can't get paid for the work I've done. That's all. I'm not going to go on unemployment or welfare. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If you need it, you need it. But I'm not doing it because I did the work. I did more work than I thought I would do over these last 4 or 5 years, and I'm just not going to give up on this until I actually can not just survive. Like, that's my answer to that question. I don't want to just be able to survive. I want to be able to create stuff for the next 5 to 10 years, and that's what Kickstarter is for me. It gives me that freedom to explore all these things and actually record all these ideas into actual songs. That's what the Kickstarter does. So I'm still positive that Kickstarter, it only takes a couple people, 10 people to support me, and then 100 people, then 1,000 people, and then they tell somebody, and you get almost like referrals as a salesperson, like getting referrals from people. But yeah, that's about it. I don't want to ramble for an hour, and that's probably everything I wanted to talk about. I'm not making notes on these conversations. I'm just talking off the cuff, whatever pops in my head, pretty much. And yeah, I guess I'll just leave it there. Hopefully, you get an idea of where my head is. And I keep saying I'll look back at these recordings in a year, 2 years, and I'll be like, yeah, I remember feeling like that. That was a shitty time. But I'm just going to keep trying everything I can to get out of this situation. It's not a good place to be. For any age, 20, 30, 40, any age, man. And yeah, all I can do is just keep going, keep trying to produce stuff, I guess. No matter how frustrating it is. I'm not complaining that I'm writing new material. Like, I'm also not saying whether this song's even good or not. Because I'm not going to know until I actually sit down and try to record this one day. But it's a numbers game for me. It's always been. The more songs you attempt to write, the more paintings you try to create. I still feel that way. The more you attempt to do it, there'll be some universal justice, like seeing that you're putting the time in, and putting the effort in. Almost like what people say, God helps those who help themselves, and all those cliche phrases. It sends something out to the artistic ether, like, yeah, I'm really trying to get in the door and start a career because I just want to make cool stuff, man. My only purpose as an artist is that, like, I have no propaganda inside of me. I'm not on the left or right. It's just issue by issue, really, I guess. If you want to talk about politics, it's way more nuanced with me. Like, there's so many issues that I'm still unsure of at this point in my life. But there's no propaganda side to my art. There's no subversiveness, if that makes sense. There's no manipulations. I just want to make cool shit, man. These words do not really matter to me. Pondering Fargo sounds cool, but whatever else I wrote, it just, whatever phrase pops in my head. And that's kind of how I've always been. The words don't really matter. I don't want to sound stupid. I want to sound like I'm writing respectable lyrics, but the words really don't matter. They really don't. But that's about it. I'm probably going to forget. I'm probably forgetting to discuss something that I wanted to talk about, but I got all the main points out, I think. Hopefully this keeps going. Like right now it's like 11 o'clock at night on Friday night, September 5th, 2025. I might attempt to look at more audio files, and if something sparks, maybe I'll make another song. But right now, this is probably all I'm going to do tonight. And alright, that's about all. That's all I wanted to really talk about.